What's up, guys? Today is June 9th. That means another training video. These are the days that are really fun. I get to kind of like experiment around and kind of do really whatever I want to do. So what I'm planning for tomorrow, June 10th, would be to throw a bullpen, whether I have a catcher or not, and just get a feel for being 100% off the mound, get kind of some velo, kind of see where I'm around right now, just in like a bullpen setting, and then kind of just throw some pitches off the mound. So in preparation for that, what I had originally planned to do was a kind of like a previous light day of just doing like my spin progressions, and that's pretty much it. So what I kind of opted to do, like as soon as I got to the field, was like, I haven't thrown a 2-pound med ball off the mound in a while, and I really like to do that because it always gives me a good feel for kind of where I am with my velocity and things like that, how my body is moving. So what I usually do is set up a radar and just throw a 2-pound med ball as hard as I can off the mound into like a net or just in front of me, and just to kind of see, where I am, how I'm moving. Another reason I like to do it too is like it's an upper body plyometric that I can do that doesn't like put fatigue or, any kind of stress on my elbow or shoulder, especially the day before throwing. So the day before throwing, a lot of people do like activation lifts and things like that, which I think is fine. Like I'm not super against those at all. I think they're really good. I'm just not someone who really prefers to like lift the day before I go on the mound. But what this allows me to do is allows me to go like 100% the day before off the mound. I can get a good feel for my mechanics, spend time on the mound, spend time moving at 100%. And then it's similar in activation lift to where I'm pretty much doing an upper body plyometric, throwing the 2-pound med ball. I'm just not going through a full, full body workout or having any strain, like I said, from throwing a normal baseball. So what you're seeing right now is me just going through kind of like a med ball warm up. Again, this is, again, somewhat of an activation, but I kind of do this before I throw every single time, except for my lighter days. I kind of keep those a little bit more calmer, because the med ball is like a higher intent kind of drill. But all I'm doing is just priming my body, getting ready to throw, just getting ready to kind of move that 2-pound med ball as fast as possible. So you saw there that 37-mile-an-hour throw. That was basically just a warm-up to kind of make sure that my setup was working and everything was going. And you have a 40-mile-an-hour throw there. That's kind of the range I'd like to stick around. Basically, I worked from 40 up to 41, 42, a couple 43s towards the end, and then I started to fall off after about 2 or 3 43s, kind of falling back to 42, 41. So that's kind of the range I'm at. I'm trying to be like 44 to 45 because basically what I kind of see from this is throwing a 2-pound med ball is it's almost about 2 times your velocity off the mound. So if you're throwing 40 miles an hour with the 2-pound ball, it's going to be about 80 miles an hour if you're throwing an actual baseball. Now, it's not like 1-to-1. It's going to be different for everybody. So it's going to be like a range of probably like 8 miles an hour. But for me, it's always kind of been like pretty 1-to-1. I'll get up to 43 today. And in game right now, I'll probably get up to like 86, right? And again, this is without adrenaline. I was by myself. So, maybe I could hit 44, 45 if I was with a partner or had some other people I was with, maybe some music going. But that's kind of the goal always, is just be 44, 45 for me, because I think that's, if I can consistently be there, that's when I'm going to be in the range of like 86 to 90 off the mound with a baseball. And you kind of see here, hit 41 in the last throw. I'll hit 41 here as well. So the numbers are starting to go up. I'll start hitting 42s and 43s here in a minute. But the big thing is just trying to really focus on my mechanics a little bit, but I'm just trying to really focus on my intent, really. That's the big thing. The mechanics are going to like allow me to throw harder, but the main thing here that I want is just really just focusing on the intent. I want to see the number go up as much as possible, and there's a 42 right there, but the intent for me is what I really want to practice. That's something I really need to work on. A lot of times I can get in cruise control, and especially if like I'm not too happy with how I'm throwing mid-game, if I'm throwing like a lot of balls, if I'm getting a little like passive, I'll kind of hit cruise control and I'll feel like I'm throwing at like 80% when I really could be throwing a lot harder. So this is for me, a good drill of just working to build that intensity and consistently be intent. And there's 43 right there. That's what I'll top out at during this session. So hopefully next week I'll start to see a 44, hopefully some 45s. And here you can kind of see me kind of waving my arm around. I'm really trying to think about using my lat. And this is just some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm kind of going through these drills is like, what can I work better on? What can I like feel more? A lot of the focus is like my drift, my back leg, and just my lat in general, just making sure I'm using these pieces. But this is kind of an example of my thought process. All right, this one I'm going to use my lat and really try to push it into the ground. Not muscles though, not forcibly. We'll try to use those big muscles.
Slow. 42.
Yeah. So that's just some of my thought process during all this. Really just focusing on drift, my lat, kind of the back leg, making sure I'm pushing it in the ground. But you'll kind of see me die down here. I'll fade down to 41, and that's where I'll kind of call it. But overall, really enjoy these days.